Actually, he says, taking a deep breath, it's too late. He shakes his head again. It's time to start thinking about your future outside of this high school. Mrs. Brando wants to file serious charges. Charges that should warrant police involvement. He looks me right in the eye, like I am going DOWN. Then he breaks the look. But we are not going to go that route, he says. I'll speak to Mrs. Brando about not involving the police, but that's the best I can do. I'm afraid I'll be recommending to the school superintendent that your time at Carver High be terminated. Now my eyes get big because what does he mean, terminated? There will be a hearing within the next 5 days to officially determine your status. If your parents wish to hire an attorney, of course they are welcome to do so, but given your past suspensions, your disciplinary history, the number of times you've had detention this year alone, and of course the incident with the spray painting, I think the outcome is virtually certain. I think, oh, so terminated means over. And it is not like I didn't see this coming, but this time I can tell it is real. So my mind wanders and I start thinking how the girl wasn't even that hot, and my parents will never show up to a hearing, and what will I amount to anyway? Tried to contact your parents, Principal Olmos is saying, but as usual we can't reach them. I could beg. Can't tolerate the threat of violence in schools these days. I could offer him money. Only I don't have any. Clearly not suited for this environment. Perhaps a technical school. Maybe I will say I was on drugs, so they will decide to help me. Only this may not work because I already have a social worker and everyone thinks I am on drugs, even though I'm not. And it has not helped me once yet. Are you listening? I look up, and Principal Olmos is looking like he feels sorry about everything. So I don't say any of the things I thought about saying, and I don't even beg for mercy. I just sit there thinking how I screwed up again, and that's when I want to fucking cry. Or maybe hit someone, because even though I'm not so great a student, I am not harmful, and if they gave me another chance, I would do okay, I swear. Then Principal Olmos looks at me for a long time, and finally he sighs and says, "Honestly, I believe you're a good kid." He leans across his desk. "Lots of people around here don't think that, but I do," he says. "You've had a lot to overcome in your life, but that's no excuse for poor discipline. We can all make something of ourselves, no matter what our situation. We can do something that contributes to the world, live a life that has meaning. Do you believe that?" I've never thought about meaning, not even once. But I nod because, okay, whatever. Principal Olmos stands up and closes my folder. "You'll have to stay here until the end of the school day while we continue trying to contact your parents. If we can't reach them, I'll have the social worker come by your house to deliver an official letter stating you have out-of-school suspension pending a hearing." He pauses. "I'm sorry." He reaches out to shake my hand like we are both adults and I am not a kid or a student anymore, and that's when it hits me that I am on my own, which is scary because even though I'm 16, I am only a freshman, and that is too soon to get kicked out. Plus, I have no skills, and if you do not graduate high school and you have no skills, then you are shit out of luck. So I decide that Principal Olmos is wrong about the hearing. And even though he thinks it is a done deal, I will make a plan. And the kind of plan I will make is a how to change everyone's mind about me plan, since Principal Olmos is the only one who thinks I am a decent guy. But really, I am not so bad a person, once you get to know me. Chapter 2. Now I'm back home in my living room, which is also my bedroom, and it has been a sucky day. I wish I had a room that was mine so I could stomp in and slam the door. I think about stomping into my parents' bedroom, but I don't because A, they do not have a door, and B, all my mom's stuff is lying around exactly like it was when she first went visiting. The living room is a mess because it is full of ratty furniture my dad gets off the street on garbage days. And even though I've got this pale, white, bony-ass body, there's still hardly any room for me between the springy chairs and the broken lamps and the busted-up coffee tables, all of which Dad swears do not smell, but he's wrong. I'd sit on my bed, but that's the torn-up couch, and my father is stretched out there sleeping, so I sit on the floor instead. That feels real pathetic. So my nose starts running, all on its own, and I wait until it stops before wiping it with my sleeve. And then so I can decide about things, I get up to take out the calendar I stole from someone's mailbox. The calendar is from Joe's Auto Parts, and it has cool cars on it. It says today is Tuesday, December 20th, 4 days before the winter break. This means I should come up with my plan, say today or tomorrow, because probably the hearing will be right away. So if my plan is an excellent plan and I do something to contribute to the world, like Principal almost said, then maybe everyone will figure out how wrong they are about me and I won't get kicked out after all. Now I have the beginning and end of a plan, and things are not looking as bad as I thought. So I put the calendar back in the sink where it was, right between the crusted SpaghettiOs bowl and the sour milk glass. I open the cupboards to look for something to eat, but all that's left is a bag of chips, which is empty except for crumbs. So then I look in the money jar where Dad puts his garbage money to buy groceries when we need them, only that is empty except for crumbs, too. Only 8 pennies left. So now there is a new problem, and isn't that always how things are? I sit down to think again, this time about food. And while I am thinking, I listen to the people next door singing in Spanish, and there is laughter and foot stomping and music coming through the walls, and everyone is happy because Maria had a baby. Every time I pass Fernando in the hallway, he hands me a cigar and says, "Give this to your father." And yesterday someone said, "Come see the baby, Iggy." So I went over, and there was this ugly-looking kid all wrapped in a blanket, but the way all the relatives crowded around and grinned made the kid not so ugly after all. And Maria winked at me and said, "Maybe he'll grow up big and strong like you," which was just her being nice, because I'm short and weak. But it was still a cool thing to say. So for a day, I wanted him to grow up like me. Until today, when I got kicked out. Now I wonder who I have grown up like. So I look over at my father, who ought to be at work picking up garbage, but instead he's sprawled out on the couch with one leg hanging across the other, and his body is twisted up strange, and he's drooling this long line of drool with his mouth wide open. So maybe my chances for the future aren't so good. And I wish things were different, and life was all ho-ho-ho. But there is nothing ho about my life. And the next thing that happens is there's a knock on the door. Normally I would not answer, but this time I think it is the social worker who is here to deliver the letter and discuss my options, and about now I could use some options, so I get up and answer the door. Only, damn it, it is Dad's dealer, Freddie. Chapter 3. I should have known it was Freddie because the knocking was all knock, 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 knock. Not polite like a social worker does it. When I open the door, he is leaning on the wall, real lazy, but his hand is poised where he was about to knock again. He smells like chicken grease and patchouli. And when he sees me, he grins like it is funny that I did what he wanted. Half his mouth is gold, and I wonder how many drug deals make one gold tooth. "Your old man home?" Freddie leans in way too far, but catches himself before he falls. One thing about Freddie is he's not such a great dealer because he samples the goods, which is pretty sad when this is the only thing you can do in life and you're still not very good at it. "Nope," I say. Freddie looks at me, then at my dad in the living room. "Your mom home?" Half his lip curls up, like a dog that dreams of biting. Freddie makes me want to hit things. And if there was one contribution I could make in life, it would be getting rid of guys like him. So even though it's a pretty stupid thing to do, I spit this big gob and it lands at his feet. Freddie is in my face faster than you think a strung-out guy like him could manage, pressing me.